Hey people. Well, looks like 2022 is going to be the date. Okay, 2022. Victoria's state of emergency is extended by 6 months. And then when that's done, it'll be another 6 months, and another 6 months, and another 6 months. Extended by 6 months. Victoria's state of emergency has been extended by 6 months after Fuckwit's contentious bill passed Parliament by just one vote. It came as Victoria's coronavirus cases continued to plummet on Wednesday, with just 90 new cases and 6 deaths. So it's plummeting, all right, but he's extended it for 6 months. Victorian Greens Upper House MP Samantha Ratnam returned from maternity leave to vote for the government's amended bill during the marathon Parliament session early this morning. I felt it was just too important that I had to be there, she told reporters as she arrived at Parliament. The bill passed just before 2 a.m. on Wednesday in the Victorian Upper House, with 20 votes in favour and 19 against. Reason Party MP Fiona Patten and Animal Justice Party MP Andrew Medic also voted in favour of the 6-month extension, giving the government 20 votes in the 40-member upper house. Health Minister Jenny Mikakos, whose speech was met with jeers, told Parliament those who voted against the bill were effectively voting for a third wave. This is the most important bill in the 21 years I have been in Victorian Parliament. We have an ongoing public health issue, she said. State of emergency powers. The law hands Chief Health Officer Sutton 2 sets of sweeping powers to make legally enforceable public health directions. The first set allows him to have any person in an emergency area detained for as long as necessary, restrict their movements in that area and prevent people from entering an emergency zone. It also empowers him to give any other direction reasonably necessary to protect public health. The second set of powers allows Sutton and health officials to do the following in order to investigate, eliminate or reduce a risk to public health: without a warrant, entering any premises and to search for or seize anything that is necessary, inspecting or closing any premises for a period of time to investigate a possible public health threat, requiring a person to provide their name and personal information to health officials under threat of legal penalty. So it's no more just to your doctor, okay? You have to hand that information over now. Requiring a premises to be cleaned or disinfected or anything be destroyed or disposed of to eliminate or reduce the risk of public health. Directing a person or group of persons to enter, not to enter, to remain at or to leave any particular premises for the period of time. This pandemic will not be finished in 2 weeks' time. It won't in fact be finished in 6 months. This will be going into 2021 because we know in all likelihood there will be no vaccine within that 6-month period. The 6-month extension was a compromise. Andrews, who officially composed a 12-month extension, which was met with furious backlash from the public, civil rights groups and both sides of politics. Morrison directly asked Andrews last week to consider his proposal and urged him to seek monthly or quarterly prolongments instead. The state opposition were successful in their push to have the state of emergency powers extended on a month-to-month basis. State of emergency powers allows Chief Health Officer Sutton to impose restrictions, including to wear masks or to stay at home. The pandemic sparked a state of emergency in March 16, but that is due to expire on September 13, after a maximum 6 months extensions, along with Melbourne's Stage 4 lockdown and regional Victoria Stage 3 rules. The amended bill is specific to the COVID-19 pandemic and includes additional transparency measures. Mr. Andrews has previously stressed the extension does not mean stage 4 restrictions, due to end on September 13, would be in place for another year. It comes as Victoria recorded 5 coronavirus deaths and 70 new cases on Tuesday, its lowest single-day increase in cases since July the 3rd. The state government on Sunday will release its plans to move both Melbourne and regional Victoria out of restrictions, noting they will be different. Given a low case of numbers, it will be possible for us to have different settings in regional Victoria and a different timeline and roadmap compared to, so we will have a plan that's possibly a plan. It might not be a plan. You may not agree with the plan, but hence there will be a plan. On Tuesday, a leaked government report was revealed the strict new rules that businesses will have to follow as the state prepares to ease its stage 4 lockdown. The state government announced its reopening roadmap, the plan for the easing of Melbourne's stage 4 COVID-19 restrictions, and Victoria's stage 3 measures will be unveiled on Sunday. Under Fuckwit's new industrial plans, Victorians will be encouraged to work from home, carpooling will be banned, face masks will be mandatory in high-risk workplaces. The new measures also require meetings and tea rooms to be held outside, while workplace bubbles mean employees can't overlap during shift changes. There's the bubble. You know the bubble? Areas that are commonly touched, such as elevators and door handles, will also need to be disinfected regularly. A traffic light system of closed, heavily restricted or open with a COVID-safe plan will be implemented in industry fields. Fuckwit said there will be relief for hospitality businesses as warmer weather means pubs, cafes and restaurants can offer outdoor table service. We'll be having very detailed discussions with that industry, he said. Victorian Chamber of Commerce and Industry Chief Executive Paul Guerra said state health authorities will need to have a backup plan. There's plans all over the fucking place. Plans to track you, plans to trace you, plans to facial recognition you, plans to bubble your ass, plans to download app on your phones, plans to whatever. There's always a plan. What are the fail-safe mechanisms that are going to be put in place? We know there are all going to be outbreaks, sadly, so how do we deal with that without having to shut down all of industry and, in fact, all of the state? We need confidence in the contact tracing system, because if that is working, then the caseload should be limited by the fact that we're onto it and onto it quickly. The contact tracing system, meaning where if you've downloaded the app, your phone hooks up to other people's phones, therefore they have to go get tested, therefore you fuck their business over, you fuck their workplace over. Is that the plan that they're talking? Is that it? The new roadmap, it's a roadmap, will also detail whether Victorians will be allowed visitors in their homes. If we do this too quick, if we do this chasing something that might be popular for a few weeks, if we forget that it's a pandemic and think that it's a popularity contest, then Christmas won't look normal at all. It will be a very, very different Christmas day, said Fuckwit. For him it won't be. For you it will be. People, come on. This is it. It just goes on and on as to what you know. We understand that in a pandemic, sometimes there need to be restrictions. But there's a reason why the state of emergency in law is limited to 6 months, O'Brien said. Because no premier, no politician should have that degree of power over the lives of Victorians indefinitely. Not just Victorians, but any people. Any people. Australia Industry Group, Innes Willock, said extending the state of emergency would spell the end for thousands of Victorian businesses. Another said extending emergency powers for 12 months would be an admission of failure. If the first wave didn't get your business and didn't get your ass, the second one will. And if the second one doesn't, the third one most likely. Whether it's 6 months, people, whether it's 3 months, whether it's 2 months, you're counting from today. How long have you already been locked up? How long? How long have you already been locked up by this thing here? But anyway, you know, you can tell people, you can get information out to people, but at the end of the day, people just don't want their boat rocked, I guess. You know, they like being locked up. They like sitting at home, you know, bored, shitless, getting fat, eating, nothing to do, can't go out. But don't forget, download the Bubble app. You know, download the fucking Bubble app. Anyway, later, people. But there you have it. Before I go, hang on, before I go. Victoria's state of emergency is extended by 6 months. Why 6 months? In the spring, people.